Into meat from. Chew. Think. Full fat is food. Slurp fat was. Look. Has into. Thirsty. Hungry. Full. Drink. Fat. Eat. Chewed. Eat. Look into. Cook. Skinny was. Has soup. Think. Full slurp. Bloated. Thirsty. Swallow. Eat. Today's book is a bit of a change. We're not doing Usborne, we are doing instead a first look at the Virgin Computer series Adventures for Your ZX Spectrum with the game Crash. You're playing your latest arcade game, you're just about to reach a new high score when crash. Your machine has crashed, the computer has broken down and you must fix it. Your only real chance is to use the shrinking beam to become small enough to enter the computer and sort out the problem. Your technical knowledge and powers of logic will be tested to the full in this small but absorbing adventure. So, ready to give that a go. I've got some sort of screwdriver with a rubber handle, a fuse, what I believe are wire strippers, my Spectrum manual, and the Usborne Introduction to Electronics. Let's have a look at the programme. Our first game for today is from the Virgin Computer books of Adventures for Your ZX Spectrum. It is Pearl Diver. In this adventure, I assume the role of a humble fisherman who, after hearing some talk about pearls in the South Cove, has rushed out his boat and is now looking for treasure. I need to collect 5 oysters to become rich, but the sea is full of dangers, from piranhas to seaweed. I must collect each oyster separately and swim back up to my boat. The oysters are a phenomenal size and can only be carried one at a time. Our oxygen strength at the beginning of the adventure is 90, and this goes down as you swim around and get caught in hazards. However, you may be lucky enough to pick up an unused air tank that is lying on the seabed. So I've got my snorkel, I've got the bar for my wife, it's a bit small for my head, I've got my little oyster knife for opening the oysters, so let's jump in and see if we can find some treasure. From the tropics, we're now going into the frozen north with the Spectral Book of Games and Save the Whale. So let's see what that's all about. Here we are. Save the Whale. A moving graphics game for conservationists. The object of the game is to ensure that the whale survives a swim on in Arctic seas. We have to outwit the hunters who are hunting the whale in their kayaks. If they run into the icebergs, they'll have to abandon the hunt, so you've got to lure them into the obstacles. Our third game today is from Stimulating Simulations, 2nd edition by C.W. Engel. This book was first published in 1977. This edition was printed in 79, which predates the Sinclair ZX80. In going on a fishing trip, the sea is an 8x8 grid, forming 64 fishing locations. We start at the dock, square 1-1, and try to catch as many pounds of fish as we can. We move 1 square at a time, horizontally or vertically. Entering F allows you to fish in the same place again. Entering B resets the game. If you leave the grid, you sink, you die. We must return to the dock in 60 moves, which is equivalent to 6 hours. If we don't return in time, half the catch will spoil. The chance of catching fish is different for each square and is determined at the start of the trip. The chance of catching fish in a square will remain the same, but will decrease if the fish are scared by a shark. The maximum number of fish that can be caught in each square, which is density, is determined at the beginning of the simulation, and that will decrease. The maximum number of fish you can catch is the product of the row and column, so the further out you go, the more fish you catch. The longer you fish, the greater the chance of hitting an afternoon storm. If you hit one of those, you lose half an hour. There's also a chance of random events. And nice little book, picture of a fishing man, and it comes with a little map. Let's have a look. Our final game for today is from Tim Hartnell's giant book of Spectrum games. Lots of nice stuff in here. I saw this one and thought, oh, that might be fun. Just add it all in. It's called Squash the Squid. It's on page 28. It's only a couple of lines of code. a couple of pages, not lines, written by R. Stubbs. In this programme, it was strongly opposed by the Society for the Protection of Squids. We have a strange mobile bomb which moves across the screen. Underneath it is the squid, which looks a bit like a space invader. When the bomb's right over the squid, we press a key, the bomb falls, and the squid waits for the bomb. If you hit him, he waves his arm around. We have a limited number of bombs. Each shot is worth 5,631 points. It was written by R. Stubbs and the graphics were done by Daniel Hayward. So, let's go and squash the squid. Hello there. Welcome to the first of a series of games from the book Creating Political and Military Simulation Games on Your Micro by Mike Rose. This one is Downing Street. This is not so much a political or economic acumen game as a test of general knowledge in politics. You choose your political party and are expected to follow a stereotyped pattern of behaviour with regard to nationalisations. No complaints and party activists, please. You make generalised decisions on the economy which affect your popularity in the different sections of the population. Your popularities here are indicated in the annual report at the start of each loop. Various international events, including conferences and wars, come up, which also make changes to your popularity. At election time, the outcome is decided by your total popularity, related to the size of each section of the population. Most variables are either 1 or 0, which makes the programme very simple from the mathematical point of view. So we're going to give this a go from all three parties. So whether you're a "let's bomb Russia" type, or a "while cowards wreck and traitors sneer, we'll keep the red flag flying here" type, or a Liberal SDP, "we like both Davids" type. Hopefully there was something here for you to enjoy. Let's give it a go. The Ring of Power. This massive adventure was the result of much intensive work by London programmer David Edwards. You are placed in a mythical world where cunning and courage are essential to reach your goal. You're looking for the great Ring of Power. For whoever holds this holds the key to controlling all of the underworld. You have reached the foreboding castle where the ring is reputed to lie. You must collect the various source keys, for without these your journey through the castle will be obstructed. This adventure is extremely difficult. There are less puzzles to solve than in the everyday adventure, but movement around the adventure has to be made carefully. There are several large mazes which are very hard to escape from. On account of its large size, the adventure has to be loaded in 2 parts. The procedure is as follows: type in program 1, save it to tape, type in program 2, save that to tape, run program 2, save it again. It takes about 7 minutes to load. One final note. Since this adventure is so tough, I shall give you one clue. For the first maze, northwest, north, east, 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 south, south is of use. So, I've got on my robe and my wizard hat, so let's enter the world of the Ring of Power. You've been naughty again. You really should not have put itching powder on the teacher's chair, and you are now suffering the consequences. Detention after school. You have never stayed late at school before. Normally, as soon as the bell goes, you rush out as quickly as possible. If you had stayed late before, you would have realised that your school is no ordinary school. After school, things start to get sinister. Familiar objects turn nasty, and life gets extremely dangerous. You must escape quickly, but how? All I can tell you is that there are 15 commands at your beck and call, which are listed below. Take, read, get, unlock, drop, open, file, kill, tie, L for look, I for inventory, north-south, east-west. All commands must be executed in lowercase letters. This great adventure, written by Adam Waring, shows how an interesting and exciting adventure can be created by using fairly standard adventure techniques, interlocking rooms, obstructions and so on, but in a novel scenario such as the school. There are many other environments where an adventure might be set, and some are outlined in the chapter on adventure writing. But first of all, let's play Schools Out. For our little bonus video, we shall be looking at the 1984 game Treasure Island, published by Mr. Micro. This was one of the 6 games that came with the Singular Spectrum Plus 2. So I played it as a kid, loved it, it was brilliant. I'll be playing through it now properly, dressed as a pirate. I've got my rum in my goblet, and most importantly I've got Morrison's The Best Rum and Raisin Dark Chocolate, the most piratey chocolate you can possibly get. So, after I've had my tea, which is in the oven, a bit of pizza, I shall be cracking on, opening the rum, and then seeing how we get on. See you in a bit. If sailor tales to sailor tunes, storm and adventure, heat and cold, if schooners, islands and maroons, and buccaneers and buried gold, and all the old romance retold exactly in the ancient way, can please, as me they pleased of old, the wiser youngsters of today. So be it, and fall on. If not, if studious youth his no longer crave, his ancient appetites forgot, Kingston or Ballantyne the brave, or Cooper of the wooden wave. So be it also, and may I and all my pirates share the grave where these and their creations lie. So, today's video, if I can find my drink, is all about pirates. We've got a selection of typing games of a piratical nature, which I hope you shall enjoy. I certainly enjoy typing them in. We're here for about half an hour or so. We've got exciting swashbuckling naval battles. We've got navigating the trackless waste of the sea and searching for buried treasure. But first of all, let's have some rum. Oh, that's good. Can you feel it all the way down? I certainly can. Oh. So, shiver my timbers, my hearties, and let's set sail for adventure. Captain's log. Stardate 27th of Space October. We're about to launch on an epic voyage of discovery. We're going to start off by flying our amazing space vehicle in laser attack from the Spectrum Book of Games. Moving on, I shall take command of Space Fleet 5 in laser fight in the OK Space Zone. After that, we'll refresh our palates with arcane action from the Tim Hartnell's Giant Book of Spectrum Games in Cosmos. We'll then test my navigational skills to the utmost with spaceflight from Stimulating Simulations. Finally, we shall make sure we keep the Earth safe for all good people with Galactic Guardian from Tim Hartnell's Giant Book of Spectrum Games. So, make sure your fuel tanks are full, your gyros are spinning, your laser pistols are fully recharged, and you bring along some space protection, because you never know, we might meet some green-skinned space ladies. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we have liftoff. Hello there. Today I've donned my cardboard helmet of Valiance, and we're going on a magical quest. We're going on to 5 amazing-ish fantasy games, starting in 1977, moving up to 1983, and then ending up in 1984. So, let's get started with our adventures today. welcome to today's adventure. Basic Fun with Adventure Games by Susan Drake Lipscomb and Margaret Ann Zwanich, published in 1984. In this book, I am a CIA agent, and my mission is to prove that the Soviet ambassador to the US of A is a spy. I better hope I don't get caught. Between me and the evidence are some deadly hazards and booby-trapped clues. Once you master the game, we can look at writing an even better adventure with our own ideas with this book, which is actually rather good. But for now, we're going to type in the game, which I have to convert into ZX Spectrum Basic from this one, which runs on Apple, Mac or IBM PC, and see if I can catch the ambassador, collect all the clues, avoid the traps, and do it all within 2 hours. So, let's get ready for adventure. Foolish American, there was a sign on the door warning of the alarm. You must go and study the know-how book of spycraft in order to try again. Foolish American. In the Soviet Union it never rains, so we have no need for umbrellas for protection from the weather. We only use them to eliminate spies. Try again. You fell for another of my traps. In the Soviet Union we do not drink wine, we drink vodka. The Soviet Union triumphs again. Nostrovia. Yes, 10,000 copies. Yeah, no worries. Get them all sorted. I want them in the shops by Christmas. Bye. Bye-bye. Hello there. I've decided to make a change in direction. I've got so good at typing in games, I've decided to start my own software development company. Well, not really. I'll be looking at a game that came free on the cover of Crash. It's called Software House, and you get to run your own software house and have fun. So let's go back to the glory days of software development, where these things were absolutely evil. Remember kids, software piracy is theft. So sit back, relax, and let's get ready to make lots of money. Go on, hop it. Greetings! Welcome to the exciting world of fantasy adventure. Today we're doing something new. I've been challenged by a tweet to write an adaptation of a Mattel game in Sinclair Basic. So, I've got my magic shield, I've got my magic sword, I've got my helmet, I've got my armour on. Are you ready to enter the exciting world of Dungeons and Dragons? Come fly with me, we'll fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, we'll fly away. Come fly with me, we'll float down to Peru. In Llama Land there's a one-man band and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, we'll float down in the blue. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just glide starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You might hear the angels cheer because we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words and we'll beat the birds and to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly. Pack up, let's fly away. Because today is all about aviation. We've got air sea rescue. We've got bombing raid. We've got an air show. We've got humanitarian efforts. But most importantly of all, we've got a full-on flight simulator written in BASIC. So, pilot gloves are on, pilot hat is on, wear my flying jacket, my aviator specs. So chocks away, full throttle, and let's take off to the wild blue yonder. Hi, I'm Jarrett. I'm the pilot and leader of the party. I'm going to get you on your expedition, fly you over the Himalayas and get you home safe again. That's a promise. If anything goes wrong, I've got my revolver. So let's check the time. Oh damn it, watch has stopped. I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure we'll have enough fuel. So, let's take off. Fuss that frizz, then to snew. See page 33. Hello, I'm Dirk, Cambridge Rowing Blue, and expert on Eastern dialects. I'm joining this expedition because I'm the fiancé of Gloria, the daughter of Clive. When we get back, we're going to get married. It's going to be lovely, I just can't wait. Gosh, you shouldn't walk in on a lady in the bathroom. Oh, what would Dirk say? I'm just getting ready to go on our expedition. I've got my makeup, of course, but don't be fooled. I'm smarter than I look, and brave and strong too. Oh, my Dirk is so dreamy. He's so smart and brave. If only he could fly as well, then he'd be my dream man. Oh, crikey, I'm parched. Oh, how do, lad? So, I'm Clive. I'm in charge of paying for all this nonsense, but I'm not bloody made of money, so I'm not paying for a top quality pilot. I got some cheap bloke who just qualified. Oh, crikey. It's hard work, this talking. So, we're going on an expedition, flying over Himalayas to see what's what, and hopefully find some money. I do like money. Oh, crikey, I'm starving. Oh. Hello. Today we should be looking at the second game in New Adventure Systems for the Spectrum. This is the second game in the preset fantasy system. It is called The Temple. It's more complicated than Statue. We did Statue in Fantasy Games number 1. There are more objects, more locations, and more monsters. We're after the hoard of offerings kept inside a temple. The offerings are kept inside a treasure room. Fortunately, I know that there is a tunnel leading from the treasure room to the outside world. Unfortunately, it's locked from the inside. Once I find the treasure room, escape is easy, but first I've got to find it. So, I've got my treasure hunting hat, I've got my treasure hunting revolver. I think I'm all dressed up to go rob some temples. Hello, welcome to another in our looking at creating political and military simulation games on your micro by Mike Rose. In the first game, National Hero, I've been chosen to run my country after a combined civil war and foreign invasion. I have to make sure the books balance, make sure everyone's happy, and work towards an eventual election. How well will I do? We'll find out in a bit. And after that, we move on to the near future of 1992, where Ronald Reagan's Star Wars initiative has proven so successful that the nuclear-powered superpowers don't need nukes anymore, so they're sending them off to the third world. Watch me get hold of them and then bully my neighbours. Just what we need, a bit of escapism. My name is Kane, Professor Kane. And this is the land of the Cthulhu. Not a lot of people know that, so I have prepared a small film to show you all about it. Roll film. Greetings, loyal subjects. It is I, your king. I hope you all get lost with me in a maze, because we've got two today. Both were type-ins, both from the same year, just about, for legal reasons. Both are quite different, but one is from Italy, one's from Britain. We're going to look at both of them, and then we're going to compare the two. Which is best? So, let's not mess about, but let's leap into the maze together and hope we don't get eaten by a minotaur. Today's game is Wizard's Tower from New Adventure Systems for the Spectrum by S. Robert Spiel. It's the third and final in the preset fantasy system. For many years, a wizard with vast riches has ruled over the land from his tower and wielded great power. In recent times, however, he has done little, living a hermit-like existence in his tower, guarded by various monsters. You feel it is high time that the old wizard was removed from office to make way for a more dynamic, enterprising person, yourself. To this end, you have decided to enter the tower, find the magician and dispose of him. We have two potent spells, a sleeping spell and a petrifying spell which paralyses an enemy. Each time you cast a spell, you use psychic energy, 1 for a sleep spell, 2 for the petrify spell, and you start with only 4. Physically, you're not up to much, so the monsters will be able to defeat you relatively easily. Your spell should take care of them, but there are other ways than the spell to take care of the monster. Your aim is to find the wizard in his tower and either put him to sleep or paralyse him. But first you must get past the guardian monsters. And remember that even though past is best, the wizard is still a powerful spellcaster, and probably faster than you. You thought expelling Ambassador Gruminski would stop us. You thought establishing that fool and defeating Aprabia and Fowlenland would stop us. You are wrong. So wrong. Today we shall look at how wrong you are. First, with a look at how this book, with enough shovels, is wrong. Do you really think these are enough to stop the glorious forces of the Soviet Union? Here, in my secret base, don't tell anyone, underneath Magenta Square, we are ready to attack. After that, we shall look at how you're going to try to stop us. How you will stop the mighty forces of the Magenta Army as our glorious tanks roll across Europe. Hello, I'm Warden Harry Smith, and as you can see, I'm looking after this little baby giraffe that I've just rescued from poachers. But today, I've got a much bigger job to do. I'm going to travel around the whole country looking for pieces of the map to find the golden mask of Cthulhu and restore it to the chief. It's a long journey, but it's okay. I've got my special warden hat on. So, buckle up and let's get going. Ciao e benvenuti. Today's video we'll be looking at Moto Muro from MC Microcomputer 39 all the way back in March 1985. We are motorcyclists of the future, which is why I'm dressed in protective gear, especially as these motorcycles, they've got no brakes. So, behind them they leave a trail of light, which is deadly to touch. It's a two-player game. partially in machine code, partially in basic, but full of action. So, let's go! Good horsey, good horsey. Hello! Welcome to today's adventure, where I will take up the sword and shield again and go forth valiantly to quest. Today we are looking at a new book, a present from my sister, Invent and Write Games Programs for the ZX Spectrum by Noel Williams. Look at that glorious cover. We're looking at the first game called Throne of Camelot, which is an adventure game, a puzzle adventure game as opposed to a fighting adventure game. So, pick up your sword, pick up your shield, ride on your little horsey, and let's set forth on our quest. Ave! Welcome to today's video, which is on the Roman Empire, from Tim Hartnell's second giant book of computer games. It's the year AD 14, except we don't know that yet because we're not Christian. But Emperor Augustus has just died, and the Senate, in their wisdom, are looking for a successor. There are two candidates. There's me, and there's Caesar Computerus. So, what do we need to do? I'll pop down my fasces. This is the Roman Empire, in all its glory. We need to move troops between different provinces, from Lugdunensis, Belgica, Germania, Italia, the Alps, Dalmatia, Pannonia, Moesia, Macedonia, Epirus. The winner is the person who controls the most provinces. We start with 240 troops each. You can move troops between areas in a province, or you can attack another province where there's a battle, but our troops can cohabit. The game ends when one player has less than 100 troops. I believe the die is cast, so let's get ready to Roman. Top of the morning to you. Good to see you there. You caught me on the way to see the old friend Father Geegan. Good news is today is part 3 of Into Africa, where Chief Kazulu has to fight all the rebels and save the entire country. So, let's not mess about, let's get straight into the action.
The world as we know it has ended. One day, after years of talking, it all stopped. The bombs started to fall. In the aftermath, there were no victors, only survivors, and the dead envied the living. Today, I survive in the ruins of New York City. I befriended a mutant pit pony from up north. Together, we must escape from Gotham. We must cross 100 miles of the ruined city. But there's a problem. A pack of mutant dogs has caught my scent, and they're hungry for my blood. Who am I? Well, you can call me Snorks.
Greetings and happy Mother's Day, because today we will celebrate all mothers by taking a small trip to the high scale model of the Great Pyramid of Giza and play the classic Spectrum game, Oh Mummy, can you penetrate to my secret tomb and run away with the treasure, or will you die in the attempt? Let's find out. Vadneuf, Ampere, et Monk, Noir. Good evening. You caught me here, relaxing in the casino at Monte Carlo, just chilling before the Monaco Grand Prix. Because today we are looking at Grand Prix from Replicating Reality, Exploring Computer Simulations by Tim Hartnell. It's a simulation game of the Grand Prix, offering no less than 4 exciting circuits: British Grand Prix, German Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix and Monaco. So, who's going to be in pole position? Thank you for watching, seeing me triumph in the glories of motorsport, and now to achieve the winner's laurel and have my champagne, which should have split it up. If not, I'll drink it. Thank you. Sorry. Greetings, adventurer. It is I, Merlin the Magician, with my majestic beard. For today, we look at the second adventure from Invent and Write Games Programs for the Spectrum by Noel Williams. He has captured the essence of The Mines of Merlin, a combat game where you go around fighting monsters, stealing their treasure and getting points. And what do points make? Well, shall we find out? Draw your sword and get ready for adventure. Well, howdy there, y'all. Tonight we're going to be looking at Big Joe's Space Rig from Tim Hartnell's second giant book of computer games. It's a truck simulation. You've seen Euro Truck Simulator, you've seen American Truck Simulator, but you've not seen truck simulators in space! So, grab your energy drink and let's get trucking. Settle down, class. You may not be able to go to school, but you can still use your computer. And today, we're not going to be playing around with our Jet Set Willies. We're going to be learning stuff. A selection of educational games from educational programs for the Spectrum. Books by Ian Murray, but a lot of the book programs are by G.R. Bonfield. We're going to look at a selection of programs, not games. We're going to look at archery. We're going to look at logic problems with boating. We're going to look at Conway's Game of Life. We're going to look at how a 4-stroke engine works. We're going to look at how light waves deal with interference. And finally, we're going to do a test of music. Because you need to learn how to play music if you're going to be the best. And you want to be the best. So, here's where you start paying in sweat. The children of the night, what sweet music they make. It is I, Count Dracula, star of one of the games in this book, creating adventure programs on the ZX Spectrum by Peter Shaw and James Wattleman. In this book,
It's Draculax, you idiot.
what?
He's a robot.
What?
Evil robot.
Well, I'm dressed now. In this game, Draculax, you are aiming to destroy the evil Draculax, a computerized version of Dracula who lives in the Transylvanian laboratories surrounded by his Batty-type friends. Your task is simple. You must sneak into the laboratory and drive a stake into the robot's central processing unit. That should hold back his biting power. Instructions are within, and it's got graphics. So what are we waiting for? Sunrise? Why, hello. It's been many years since the death of my uncle, Aloysius Flus II, but I've just been told by an old friend that he had a massive hoard of treasure collected during many profitable years. Poor uncle, I did love him so. Apparently he's hidden many valuable jewels around his massive mansion, and if I can but find them, I can get undreamt of riches. A few days ago, I was
looking around the mansion, and I came across a faded piece of parchment behind some books. Upon closer inspection, the parchment revealed a message confirming that all the rumours were true. To make sure that no one else could steal the secret, I of course burnt the note. Early tomorrow morning, when all is quiet, I'm going to enter the forbidden house and find the 10 jewels to get wealth beyond the dreams of mortal avarice. This is from the game House of Adventure, from Graphic Adventures for the Spectrum by Richard G. Hurley. Shall we begin?
The year is 2014, and 2 years have passed since the Great City Riots left London in its present derelict state, cluttered with crumbling and decaying houses, offices and shops, and littered with numerous abandoned cars and lorries. You are sitting at home watching a rerun of the 1999 Oscar-winning film Rocky 23, when you receive a message from your old commanding officer informing you of a major crisis that is about to unfold. The terrorist group PPA have planted a large nuclear device somewhere in the maze, which was once a great and beautiful city. And such is its power that failure to defuse it in time will result in the total destruction of the south of England and the death of 61 million people.
Good evening. Today's video is on another adventure game from New Adventure Systems for the Spectrum by S. Robert Spiel. This one is a dungeon crawler and it's called the Warrior Mage system, which is why I am dressed as both a warrior in my shining armour and sword and mage with my magic spells. In the Warrior Mage system, it's a modular system. You type in part 1, which is monsters and spells, and you move around the maze, and that's playable and that's enjoyable. You then add in high resolution graphics. You then add in carnivorous plants. You then add in magic potions and alternative victory conditions. And finally, you add in traps and pits and pools and things of that nature. The final part of the game, which we're not covering today, is the lower reaches, an extra level of difficulty. So, shall we get ready to cast our spells and slay some monsters? Have at thee. The time has come to bring justice to this land and make this a united kingdom. For today we are the English and we are undertaking the siege of Doom Castle. This is the 14th century and we are looking at the siege of Doom Castle and creating political and military simulations on your micro by micros. We've got to capture the castle. We have a force of infantry and archers. We need to manage our supplies of catapults, battering rams and siege towers and sacks of food, and make sure we capture the castle before we run out of men, run out of food or run out of time. Are you ready? Then shields up and let's advance. Oops, Mom! The Sassenachs are attacking. I better blow my special whistle. It's not working. Jing scrivens and help my mob.